We're still working out some of the technical issues to make sure that you get the best possible audio experience. So you're not listening to Ollie playing a Spotify clip through his laptop speakers to get picked up by his microphone.
But I bet they didn't even notice, Luke. I bet they hear that and then, what? Are you telling me that was done on the spot out of the speakers into a micro? No, that's what amateurs would do. That's what kids would do in there. I used to record my favorite songs off the radio onto a cassette, and I would make my own mixtape.
Did your cassette player not have record functionality on the actual cassette player itself?
No, I don't think not my one upstairs.
Wow.
So I would bring my one downstairs and record it off of my parents' better speakers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
or maybe it did, and I was just dumb, and I was too dumb to realize that.
That's a very good workaround. So yeah, my stereo I had when I was a kid did have like the record feature. I could record to blank tapes. It didn't. It wouldn't pick up if you were to play audio against the speaker. It wouldn't pick that up. One of my old stereos did though. But the first big stereo I had that my parents gave me, their old one, had 2 tape decks, a CD player, and a vinyl player on top.
You hipster.
Yeah, right.
Was that like the old family one?
Yeah, it was like our old family one. Yeah, it was like the first hi-fi my parents got that they then handed down to me. It was a chunky old boy as well, as you can imagine. It was huge.
I'm imagining. Oh god damn it! I've forgotten his name now. Tour of the Islands.
Oh, Jeff Cobb.
I'm imagining Jeff Cobb in radio hi-fi form with
That's
wood
exactly
paneling.
what it is. Yeah. Yes, there was no wood paneling on it though. It was sleek, sexy, and black, but it was tall and chunky.
Keith Lee then.
It was tall and it was chunky, is what it was. It sat underneath my my desk. It was a big old boy. Used to go down to the local library, and you could rent out CDs from there, like along with books. So you'd get those, take those home, put it into the CD player, and then tape it to cassette.
Christ alive! This sounds old. You know, like I also am familiar with renting CDs from a library and then bootlegging them. But I wouldn't say that's not me, listeners. I was streaming. I was always streaming. I never did this. I'm hip. I'm young. I'm relevant. Listening to that Cardi B. Listening to that WAP.
No, I'm old as F, and I don't do this. My favorite though was to go get like storybook ones, like Just William or The Worst Witch, and record those to cassette because those were very good to fall asleep to.
Your favorite thing as a child was copyright theft.
Yes,
which
absolutely
puts you in good stead for the way we produce our WrestleTalk content on YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Images.
I mean, my first entrepreneurship was when I was I was about 14, maybe 13, 14, and I would steal nudie mags from my local newsagent while doing my paper rounds. So you go in like sort of 5:30 in the morning to start your paper round. I was used to my paper round 6 days a week, and go down there and 5:30. Person who'd run in the shop would then go to the back, stand up, take a few of them off the shelf, put those into your bag along with the newspapers, and then sell them on at school.
Dear God. Did you sell it by the page, or was it the whole issue?
No, it was $2.50 for a magazine, or a $5 if it came with a VHS.
Did you as the businessman sample the products? Were you like, well, that's $5 for distribution, $1 for teenage Luke.
If I've heard this term used in movies, so I'm sure it applies to real life. You never get high off your own supply.
I would just do it. It's the descent into coke ravaged porn addiction.
Exactly. So I didn't do that.
Any titles that stick out in your memory of the jazz mags?
Jazz mags. When the jazz mags testify.
That's what my dad's friend used to call them. Oh, you going out getting some of those jazz mags, are you? I was like, shut up, Martin.
Jazz
weird. I think it's Cockney. I don't know what part of Cockney though.
No. Oh, I used to hear jazz mags as well. Like if you found a jazz mag up at the woods, That was where you used to find them before I started my entrepreneurial empire, which I'll be honest, lasted approximately 3 weeks before I got caught. And then I had to, he just caught me doing it. And I had
What
to
was the
stop.
punishment? Caught you masturbating?
No, just caught me stealing the mags. And then I basically just laid low for a little while, just go in, get my newspapers, get on out, just play by the rules for a little bit.
Embarrassing.
But then after a while, I just picked it back up again. Just go in there. So like, Score I believe was one of them was called.
That's a football magazine.
No, it was like the Score Group or something
Girl
like that.
Talk. What else was there? Star Trek: The Complete Collection.
Build your own train set.
Treasures of the Earth. Money of the World. Bodyworks.
Sonic the Comic.
Some of those could be.
Good housekeeping. Voluptuous, I think, was one of the other ones.
Just Voluptuous.
Yeah, I think that's what it was just called. It was called Voluptuous.
That sounds like it's more for your highbrow jazz mag reader.
It might have been. It is. Voluminous. God, there was a couple of others, but I cannot remember. I don't think I got things like our shop didn't stock like Playboy or Mayfair or anything. That was like, super high end. It was all like pretty much low rent stuff, your mum next door or whatever it was called.
Esther.
Readers.
What was she doing on that?
Readers. Oh,
you mean generic mum? Sure.
Okay. Yeah. So that was my first entrepreneurship. And then when I was a bit older, I was about 16, discovered that I could record my DVDs to VHSs because I just hooked the two things together. So I would just bootleg DVDs onto VHS and sell them on early doors eBay.
What was the down regulation like? Because DVD was all about the picture quality, the laser disc.
Do you know what it was? I didn't get many complaints because I was always very upfront with what I did. The biggest. Obviously,
I am a 14-year-old boy. I'm literally recording DVDs onto my video player. Do you want one for money?
Do you want one for a $5? And people did. I saw Jackass the movie quite a few times.
What was the highest seller?
Oh, Jackass the movie, because that was the one that I bootlegged the most. So that was always my big seller. But this was back in the day as well. I don't know if this is still the case with eBay, but you had to be over 18 to have a profile. And I wasn't. I was 16. So I put my brother's birthday in as my date of birth.
Let's add fraud to the list of felonies then.
That was my thinking. I put down my brother's birthday because I was like, if anyone ever asks me, I know what it is. Like I could just say that one rather than just make up a random date and then forget about it. I did that. I remember once there was a kid at my school who got caught smoking, and someone asked him, "It's like, how old are you?" And this was in like 1997, so he'd have been about 12, I think. And someone asked him, "It's like, oh, how old are you?" And he's like, "Oh, I'm 16." And he's like, "Okay, what's your birthday?" And then he had to do really quick maths and be like, and he failed, and that's how he got proper caught out for "you're too young to smoke."
The people around our way, they started, when we would get into the same pubs, which was really lax back then. I was going to the local boozer next to our school from late 14, 15. You could just, they knew. But then there was like, you go through these bursts of sort of mock enforcing, and they'd ask us, "How old are you guys?" We're like, "We're 18." And then they go, "All right, when's your birthday?" And we'd just say, would say our legit birthday, but add on the correct number of years. And they get, "All right, there." And then a few times on, they'd say, "What's your star sign?" It would screw with us. We're like, even though we're using the same month.
Yes, it'd be the exact same star sign, right?
Just crapped our pants out of fear, and a couple of guys got it wrong, but it was just to make us scared. They would then continue to illegally service 15-year-olds pints of bottles.
It was a different time, wasn't it?
It's all in good fun. It's all in good fun.
It was just a different time.